Boom. What is up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Another day, another stream. Let me get my. That it right there. Boom. Stream is up. Where's the music? There's the music. Maybe. Boom. There it is. Good morning, chat. What is up, everyone? How are we doing? Vladimir sliding in here quick this morning. Oh, my Edgeful hat on. My good luck hat here. All right. Well, we're at 24,000, basically. ES is almost all-time highs, which was yesterday, but CPI this morning, pretty much in line. Jobs report was a little hot. Market doesn't really care. Should have a fairly straightforward day. We look at the bigger picture and look at a QQQ here. I mean, yesterday, gap up, fade the whole thing, get bought up right off. Look at this, right off of the SPIB level again, right off this area, bought back up, and then look, we're opening up here towards the top. If we fell at yesterday's high, we probably do push down here. But I have a feeling it's probably going to break this. But every morning also, they keep selling this thing off in the morning. What's up, KB? Good morning. This right here, 9/11. Crazy. 24 years ago, guys. I don't know how old you guys are, but I was in 6th grade, and I remember the teacher that I had got somebody told her that it was going on, and she turned on the news, and we watched the second tower get hit. And I was, I guess, 12 years old, 11, 12, somewhere in there. But I do go ahead and check it, KB. I believe it's like 19 out of the last 20 9/11s have been green. And I think the one when I saw somebody put out these stats, I didn't verify them for myself, so I'm gonna have to double check this. But what I saw was like 19 out of 20 September 11s have been green, and the one red one was like red less than 0.2% or something like that. So either way, what's up, Scott? Welcome in. Willie C sliding in here this morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thursday. And yeah, we do remember September 11th. And I'm not political on this channel at all. Never will be. Really not political in any aspect of my life that much. But obviously, a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to leave that alone. Not going to talk about that. We're going to focus on trading and making some money today. And we're going to have a good day, guys. I did catch a long last night, right at the open. If we scroll back here, guys, I'll just give you a little piece of my secret sauce. Here's where we opened the after-hour session. The point was up here. We've been selling all day. This open, I just hit long right here, took it right here to the pivot point, and took it off. Now, obviously, it went much further overnight. That's fine. But and I could have left runners, but I was good. I mean, like if I left runners all the way for up here, I would have got stopped out on the CPI print. So, but I do this quite often in Globex. Pivot point is right here. We open Globex right here. I just look for us to track to it at some point. This happens pretty often. Obviously, yes. Look at ES right here. Opened here, pivot points here, and we went to it. And then look, we actually came back and held it. Lost it right here overnight, but chopped around it. Ended up reclaim right here and a move up. Held right there again. I don't know. If you don't have pivot points on your chart, this is an Edgeful indicator, by the way, if anybody needs it. But that's where we're at. Yeah, we need to. I guess we could ask Brock or somebody could see, but I believe it's like a high win rate today on that. But hope everyone's doing well. We do have a 30-year bond auction today. Nvidia's pulling back. Microsoft's pulling back. I don't really like seeing Microsoft weakness at the open. Is any of tech doing well? Apple, yeah, Apple's okay. All right, so yeah, looking across that, I see some weakness in tech here off the open. Let me get back to where we're currently at. Here's if for those that are new to the stream, NQ on the left, ES over on the right. I like to keep an eye on both assets, see what they're doing, and that's 5-minute charts each with just some basic, EMAs, VWAP, that kind of stuff, some pivot points, and then I use a 15-minute chart over here. A couple things to look at. We have a we're at kind of the top of yesterday's range. Didn't take out previous day high. The gap fill that we have is pretty decent sized. It's not that bad of a gap to fill. You wonder if we revisit this down here. Yeah. I don't really have a straight up read on what we do today, to be honest. And KB, that happens. Again, I've done that so many times. That's why I started running multiple accounts literally because of that. Like, last night I took a trade. It was actually copy traded, made really good money. Those two accounts, I don't even want to touch them today because I don't want to just, for whatever reason, I trade differently when I have profit. I don't know. I trade differently when I have profit. So I switched it up. And so I get up on an account. I just lock that account out, trade a different account. That's why I run, usually 3 to 4 somewhere in there funded accounts at once. But it happens to everyone all the time. KB, I appreciate you being honest about that. I think that could be a good lesson for someone. When you're up nicely, you have to think about it. How many great opportunities to trade are there in a day? Some days there's very few. Some days there's a few more. But if you capitalize on a couple of those, just from a probability standpoint, which is what I'm all about in my trading, probability standpoint, you're probably not going to get that many great opportunities. So just food for thought this morning as we get started. Love the chat active this morning, guys. Love when you guys are active in here. Makes the whole stream better. So pop in the chat, say what's up, talk about what's on your mind, tell me what's going on, and what you're watching trading wise, what's going on. I mean, if you got some options or other stuff that you're looking at, would love to hear that. I'll give you guys a little bit of sauce from my stuff if I can. I don't have a whole lot, but a little bit. I mean, I've been so much slower on that side. Oh, what's up, my friend? What strategy do you trade with? I'm new to the program. Just joined Edgeful a couple of days ago. Yeah, so that's obviously Edgeful stream here. A lot of things that I look at. My trading strategy, I trade mostly futures, but I do a lot of Edgeful data. My favorite, and I'll tell you all about this, and those that have watched the stream, they could probably tell you, if I had to ask KB or Willie, even Buy It, Trade It, that's in here a lot, Vladimir's in here a lot. If I had to ask you them what my favorite reports are, I guarantee they could answer because of how often I go over these. But I would say take a look at some of these right here that are on my screen. Let me see if I can make them a little bit bigger for you. About right there. Let me get that one back up here. All right. I watch gap fill pretty often right around the open because I always want to see what the size of that gap is. But the initial balance, first hour of the market, So the initial balance is your first 60 minutes, first hour of the market. There's some very strong data around that one. IB by rejection, initial balance, IB is what IB stands for, by rejection. One of my favorite reports. We'll go over that here shortly. Previous day's range is a big one I use, and opening candle continuation. So the first hour of the market, what direction is it? That is a big factor on the day. Did you break the previous day's high or low at any point? That's another big factor in how the day's going to go. So those are some of my favorites. There's some other ones outside, bullish outside day, bearish outside day, some of those things. But this is kind of bread and butter. And then obviously the indicators themselves are, also fantastic. These are all from Edgeful right here. Pretty much I've turned on, except for the NFP is the only one that's not turned on from Edgeful. But either way, I would like this gap fill a lot more if it wasn't below this NFP level. That's no fun. Now look at this. This NFP level is the gap fill, but look how strong we're holding. The tech's a little weak, but we are pretty strong on ES and Rusty. Banks are strong again. XLF. But yeah, we'll hit all that stuff. Oh, let me slide down here. If I get up 600 to 1,000, I'll stop trading that account. Lost it to me. Yes, we've been through the same thing, Willie. I hit kind of my daily profit goal on an account. So if I take a trade and it's like, I'm trimming out, I'll make sure that I, at least get a few $100 or something on that account. But if, if the trade's still going, I'll ride the trade, but I'll make sure I'm trimming along the way. But once I get up, I get a nice win on an account, I just shut that down. It's just, okay, well, I won. Why would I don't want to keep playing the game. I won. Turn it off, come back and win the next day. So yeah, that's exactly what I do. What Willie C is saying right here. Which funded accounts do you like? Personally, I trade with TopStep and Tradeify. TopStep has been kind of my bread and butter one. Tradeify I like a lot as well. Those are the two prop firms that I use and focus on. A lot of people jump around a bunch of different ones. You kind of find one that's got the most advantageous rules for you and how you trade. And, they're fair, they're reliable. And then just stick with it. I think too many people jump around to different prop firms. That's the problem, and not their own trading. So that's what I do. But I do like TopStep the most, and Tradeify right there, probably close second. One for familiarity, I really like the Project X platform. The fact that you can check it on your phone if you need to. I don't like to trade on my phone a whole lot, but if I take a trade and it's working out in my favor, and I've been, and it's directional, right? And I've trimmed and it's just kind of running, and I can, leave the house, check in on my phone, whatever, and just those runners are still running, and I can just kind of check in and monitor it that way. I like that. So, yes. You're doing laundry and dishes. Hey, take care of what you got to take care of, brother. I hear that. I'm obviously I'm married. I got 3 little kids now, and we have to divide up the chores. I'm a big dishwasher. I like washing the dishes. Get done eating, get that taken care of, and then I usually throw on Pat McAfee show or something, or Twitter Space, and just go to town on the dishes and cleaning up. I don't mind doing that at all. Troy, do you use QQQ data for the reports for trading futures? Yes. Okay. So my style of trading, my strategy of trading, and my mindset, all of the above. Futures are based on what? And that's a rhetorical question because I'm going to answer it. Obviously, I'm sitting here on a stream, right? Futures are based on the underlying. NQ is based on NDX. ES is based on SPX, which is the underlying indice, which is what it's all based off of. Why wouldn't I want to pay attention to what it's actually based upon? Okay. Now, number two, NDX SPX are only trading during New York session. So obviously, you have to take that into consideration about some of the other things going on in the futures market. But I do think anyone that's charting ES and NQ, you should be charting NDX, SPX, or QQQ and SPY. QQQ and SPY obviously have the largest ETF volumes in the world. So what they do makes sense. You ever watch SPY get right to 650 or QQQ right to look at QQQ at 580. Hold on, look at 580 right here. This is QQQ. Look at 580 here. We'll just zoom in right here. Like this level right here is 580. If you're watching on your NQ chart, the last 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days ago. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 days. This is yesterday, so 2, 3, and 4 days ago. If you're watching your NQ chart, you're going, wow, this 860 area is really running into some trouble right here, right? Why is 860 a level? Well, QQQ's at a whole number. Every once in a while, you look at NDX and you'll see a whole number on NDX. I mean, look, NDX 23,000. Look at these lows down here, right here and right here, 23,000. So the reason I bring all that up is because I think it's super important. The most important reason, though, that I look at QQQ and SPY as much as anything, and NDX and SPX, is because there is a inherent time value in all futures. Next week is our some people call it quad witching, triple witching, whichever camp you're in on that. But you have weekly, monthly, and quarterly expirations, and then the futures. So NQ and ES, we're currently on the September contract. That's the NQU, ESU. That's the contract you're on. If you go to your and you can see I have them typed in over here, but if you go to just your if you just type in NQ, and then I just start over with new levels, because it'll gap up, because when it expires, that contract's settled and the next contract starts trading. Some point next week, probably by Tuesday, you will see the volume pick up on the December contract, and everyone will start switching over. You'll get this big gap up on, if you're just using the NQ or the ES chart on your trading view, you'll see this big gap up, because you now have a time value. It's a bet on a future price. So NQ is a bet on the future price of NDX, right? And because of that, as you get closer to the expiration, so as you get closer to next week, that gap is ever shrinking. So right now, NDX is at 23,920 and NQ is at 23,950. Back in June, July, when we rolled over the last time, there was about a 250 point gap. NQ was about 250 points above. It's ever tracking closer and closer and closer. So that's the explanation there. A level, if you had a level at NQ, I know we've been moving a lot, but let's just say 24,000 was a big level on NQ for you in the month of July. In August, going into September, that 24,000 is not in the same spot. It's probably 100 points closer to what's actually happening underneath. Sorry I spent so much time on this, but I think it's very important to explain to people that are trading, especially if you're getting going with futures. It's very important to understand what you're trading, why it moves the way it does, and just, it's the same, like, I know some of you guys follow along the NFP. The NFP level on SPY and NQ is never, on SPY and QQQ is never going to change, because there's no time value or drift in that price. There is in the futures. So an NFP level from April on NQ or ES makes no sense. From February, it makes no sense, but it does on the actual indice. So just want to throw that out there. Let me continue through. Do you do algo trading with Edgeful? I have not had the time. I've been so busy. Obviously, a lot of you know, just had my third baby, my third child, baby girl, a few weeks ago, just over 3 weeks ago. And with that, I've just been so busy with so many things getting ready for that, and then obviously since that's happened. So, yeah, no, I have not got into the. I've actually discussed it with Andre many times before they ever released it. Had a lot of thoughts to try to talk into what's going on, and as they were building it and stuff. Obviously, I'm not taking credit for anything, but I did have some conversations around it. Was aware that it was coming, excited for it, and then obviously now that it's here, actually I went through some of the onboarding on here, and I watched some of the videos and stuff, but I that's as far as I've been able to get so far. But I am very excited about it, very interested in it, and I definitely think you should check it out. I know several others, um, that I talk to, a lot of traders have tried it out as well. So very interesting. I mean, it's literally the stuff that I trade every day. IB, you can look at orbs and stuff like that. It's the stuff that I trade every day on the reports. It's um, just a matter of automating it, taking away your emotions altogether. So definitely check it out. What's my bias for today? Yeah, let's focus in a little bit. Cash Studio, what is up, my friend? Um, that's a tough. All right, if we just go top down, look at SPY. Your S&P is making a new all-time high right now, literally right now, pushing up. We're getting a little extended from your short-term moving averages. So what that means is when I look at this blue one right here is just a daily 9 EMA. This is a 20 simple, and this yellow one is a 21 EMA. These things are curling up. They're in an uptrend, but anytime you get extended away from it like this, I mean, look right here. You got extended away from it, you go sideways or come back down. Yeah, you get extended away from it here, you came back down to it. This right here, got extended away from it, you worked your way back over to it. I mean, it's an uptrend, right? So, I don't know, something to think about. Do I want to push the gas on longs up here? Probably not. But do I want to trade against price action? I don't know, it's tough. QQQ, though, we're sitting right at the previous all-time high. Right there, right at it. I mean, you have pretty clearly defined range here and here. And we'll check the bias. The bias we'll know a lot more in about 35 minutes when we get that first hour of data. But when I look at this, I mean, I see multiple rejection points here, and then I see that flipping. I basically see an SR flip here. So why not? Why not go extend up here a little bit? This is daily NQ right there. And even right here, if we look, if we come down to like this 581 area on QQQ and hold today, it's a beautiful look. We may not even get there, but that would be a beautiful look. If we lose that, then you have to think about, okay, maybe right here at 580 again. If we lose 580, we're probably going to go test the lower end. So the previous day high, we did touch it, didn't we? No, we did not. So we really don't have anything yet, but yeah, my thought would have to be overall bullish on this because you had big up day, you had an inside day, you basically had a second inside day, and then you broke out of that back test, probably push up. That's just a simplistic view, but we'll see what the data says actually for today. Date for adding of the new SPY. That's next Friday, same as the options expiration and everything. right. ES has broke it and gone over it. So like, look at SPY right here. We should have a green day today. We're at new all-time highs. If anything, you try to find some type of trend. Maybe play the orb or the IB at some point. I think that's probably going to be our best looking play today, is to try to long for like initial balance. So here's your IB high and low so far. I mean, we're only 2 candles into the day here. Let me go to a 5-minute chart just to make this look easier. So you probably look to backtest and hold previous day high. This is the midpoint right here so far of the 30-minute orb and the IB, the initial balance. Probably look to hold this and play the trade is probably this right here today, like this. That's probably the trade today. Unless something crazier happens, then obviously we always react to price action. Price action is king, but data is where you get any. If you're going to have a bias, it should be data backed. It should not be, well, we should go up because next week is FOMC or whatever. CPI print was this. Like, yeah, okay, well, look at the data, because the data takes all that into effect no matter what. Now QQQ is right here. Boom. QQQ. Make sure you're on stock. But QQQ right there. I have it bookmarked. So like just for quick access, I have QQQ and SPY, and I have NQ and ES just bookmarked over here quick. The only thing is, honestly, SPY is much stronger. And the other thing that's hard is, do you want to long into this clear resistance, 24,000? I have 24,015. This area right here is going to be a tough thing to deal with today, with tech being a little bit weaker. Nvidia's weak. We look through some of the big names here. Tesla up 1% today. Probably just close my eyes and long Tesla at some point. Oh, you got to figure it out. Perfect, Troy. Yeah, perfect. I have a lot of those user errors. I'm like, why is this not working? And then I'm like, oh. Turn it off, turn it back on, No, I'm just kidding. User error. I've done it all the time. My brain will just be like, what's going on here? Serenity, what's up? Glad to have you back in the chat this morning. Any best practices on how to use the 15-minute? So I use a 30-minute orb. Personally, I just like the first half hour of the market. I think it's better timing. I know some people use a 15-minute. Actually, I have mine set to the 30-minute, but there's a few things you can look at in here. One of the interesting ones is actually like the double break. So I have mine set to 30 minutes. If you go to customize, you can change this, but just for the illustration, there's a nice video down here, but double break, here's kind of what it looks like. So here's your first orb range. You see this blue box, breaks out of it, falls back in it, traverses, usually breaks the other side. So that's one interesting thing about SPY, that it's way more common. So look, if I go to QQQ on the same report, 43% double break on that. It's just 38%. So look at the stats on QQQ and NASDAQ. It's just as high to only break upside than to break both sides. So this is what it's telling you. It's telling you either breaking up, breaking down, or breaking both sides. Now, SPY, on the other hand, has a much higher probability of breaking both sides. I don't know, do with that you please. I don't use the orb that much. I look at it, so like I have it on this chart set up right here, and I definitely watch the levels for like a break and base. So like and the midpoint. The midpoint I think is very important. But if you can watch and you can see a break and base like this, that's kind of how I do it. So 2 pieces on this, Robert. The data that I use, it only counts wicks. It doesn't care if it's a five. I don't pay attention if it's a 5-minute candle closed out or a 1-minute candle or just wick through or 15-minute candle closed above it. From the data and probability standpoint, I just look at the wicks. Now I look at the IB a little bit more than orb these days, but the other side of that coin, just to address both pieces of this, Robert. Let's just, for the example here, here's your low. If we just wick through this, to me, I care about that because the statistics are based on that. But if we wick through this and the candle still closes up here and then the next candle still closes up here, I'm gonna start to look for like if the candle closes here and the next candle like does like this and still closes up here, even if it has a wick down here, I am still gonna look at that as like, okay, yeah, it broke through it, but it's kind of holding it, right? Now, if I see a candle close through here and the candle actually closes down here, and the next one kind of closes out of it, or you see a wick immediately reject there, you get some kind of immediate confirmation, then yeah, I'm thinking, okay, it broke, it's back testing, and it's like a break and base, which to me, like this right here is a good example. This candle actually closed above, and then if this next candle holds right here, or even if it wicks back down here, but if the candle still closes up here, that's just something I look for. I don't have to have that, but it's just like some confluence I look for. So we'll hit you on that one too. Yeah, day like today, you can definitely watch. So here's your high on the data print this morning. Kind of consolidating right above it right now. Data print, that I pay attention to. NFP, I don't know if I want it to go all the way down to the NFP at this point, KB. I haven't taken any trades yet this morning just because kind of just floating higher. I don't really have a good spot to get in. Look at SPY's just pushing. There's 24K right there. What is this? Pivot point 06. I'm just not in love with trying to fade this right now. It's funny, I was explaining this piece of it too, Robert, is like, I was talking about this the other day with someone. I was like, hey, a wick counts. So like on these IB trades that I take a lot of times, I know it's going to break one side or the other on the IB, which will have 20 minutes into that set. But like if it comes down here, if whatever reason it's coming down this direction, this is just for the example. And if I get short in here, I mean, right here is where I'm taking profit, right? As soon as because the statistics tell me it's going to wick and break through. Same thing right now. If we on NQ, for example, this morning, we come back down to this like 980 area, I'm probably going to try to take a long here and look for it to break that upper side. I have the low formed first and the high forming second right now. So that tells me strong probability we're going to break to the upside based on that Edgeful. Let me go to NQ. Just I know some of you guys may be a little bit newer. IB by rejection. Still forming, so this will update, but when the low forms first in that first hour, you have an 82, basically 83, just round this, 83% chance to break the upside. What does that mean? That means this first hour is right here. We're not. Right now we have this formed first, and right now the high is forming second. That tells me there's an 83% should break the upside today. So the easiest layup trade to me is if this just kind of hangs out here, comes back down into this area, after that first hour of the market, we have 83% chance probability to take a trade like that. I'll take those odds every single time I can. Right? I want to use some confluence price action, obviously, but if I get some price action that sets me up through here, boom, that's a setup for a nice 20, 30 point trade where I'm going to take most of my trims at a break. Well, and once again, I'm just predicting kind of what may set up here, just so I'm ready for it. Wait, every once in a while, this background music just goes haywire, huh? Boom. All right. What else we got going on? $24K touch. You have to expect anybody that long. So here's some context stuff, just basic trading stuff. Anybody that got long last night, like I did originally, I got out because I didn't want to hold into CPI. But anybody that long last night or long this morning after CPI, any of this, what's their first target probably going to be? Psychological level 24,000. What are sellers? A good bull knows where the bears are too. So, but if you're a bear, if you're a seller, and you see this going into 24,000, you're probably like, hey, one, people are probably taking profit, and you probably got some people selling right here. So, if anything, I want to probably get into a long. I kind of like it right here, actually. Do I want to start getting into the long now? Made a big move. I probably like it better than 950. It's not terrible though. That music going again. What am I doing here? Yeah, Bob, come on in. I really want to take starters long right now. Might be a little bit early. Yeah, KB, I'm kind of. I don't like that we've had this green candles in a row. Usually get a red one, pull back into this. And since this is weaker, we may get like a V943 situation. Somebody just sold a bunch on NQ. Yeah, let me go ahead and drop a link here in the chat with my sign up link here. Get that into the YouTube chats. When you sign up, like obviously you're just gonna ask you for payment method and all that, but the first 7 days should be free. And then after that, after your first 7 days, you will get you should get charged. But we're at the midpoint right now. That's so much stronger. So the reason I use gap fill by session, if you look, see how like if I have the other one here, if I flip this on, you see how it's the same. This is the exact same. Like I'll flip off the buy session. See how it's the exact same thing on QQQ. It's the same thing on NQ. It's different, right? So this was the little gap fill. If you just use gap fill on NQ or ES, it's going to just show like that hour-long overnight gap. I use gap fill by session because I want to know from RTH, New York session, New York session. That's what I pay attention to. With QQQ and SPY, I want to see the same thing on NQ. I want to see where did NQ close yesterday, the end of the day, and is there a gap fill in play there? Because I mean, it all comes back to what I was saying earlier: NDX and SPX. Now I got to say this right now. We're still 14 minutes away from that first hour, but this is where we open the first hour. If we close this first hour below here, kind of have some mixed data, but I almost have to look for this, which I don't want to. I would much rather be up here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get a little long here. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try a little long here. I just got long 960s, 960-ish. All right. Do I only trade? No. The correct answer to that is no. I do all kinds of things, right? Is my main thing trading? Yes. But I don't think anyone should just trade. And I think any successful trader I know is doing multiple things, multiple other businesses, investments, all kinds of stuff. But is the majority of my income from trading? Yes. KB's in it with me. It's a little bit early here. I like this. I would like a little bit better down here probably. I probably want to add VWAP. Bob, you were supposed to tell people about that. What's up, Cliff? It's not my most confident trade a little bit earlier, but if we do hold this area, I don't want to miss out on it. Down here to 944. And when I get into a position, a lot of times I go in, I scale into it, so I'm not taking a full position here, especially on this trade as well. That's why I take starters. I could have added at 950, but I'm gonna leave myself some room to play with. Yeah, Serenity. So I went over this a little bit earlier, but I'll hit it again real fast. So this is just something that I do quite often. Downtrend all afternoon, then some shorts covering into the close. So big sell-off, shorts covering into the close, bull market. Pivot point right here. This is their pivot point. We opened up below the pivot point. We usually go find a way to touch it. We weren't that far away from it. We had sold off super hard. This is just a retracement trade, get back to the pivot point. If you look at ES, did a very similar thing. Let me get over here. Here's where we opened. As soon as that opening candle was right here, I was on in queue, but still, as soon as the opening candle, I'm looking for this right here. I don't know, it's just a strategy that I've been using. It's just something I kind of came up with that's worked out for me. We're still in the middle here. Why is the music doing this today? You're killing me. Oh, did I miss? Oh, I missed Tesla altogether. Really, it's just Nvidia that's weak. Netflix, Broadcom, AMD, Palantir down a little bit. Amazon's a little weak. Anytime. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I love, especially, I'm not like super excited about this price action right here. Once again, with where we're at on the daily, kind of in the middle of a weird day yesterday. Still a little extended from short-term moving averages. SPY just making new all-time highs. At what point does it stop? IWM looks pretty good. The Dow, I mean, basically what I see right now, let me go back to my 15-minute setup. This to me looks pretty good. 7 minutes until, I mean, when you've broke previous day high, you want to try to buy dips on ES. So I'm just hoping that in Q plays a little catch up today at some point. All right, I was kind of looking at a couple things here. NVIDIA is actually green. Just filled the gap. Actually green. Inverted hammer. Interesting. Netflix getting punished today a little bit. But Microsoft's working its way back up. It's green. Meta's really not doing anything. Google broke previous day's low. Not the best look down there. Broadcom, which we know Broadcom just made a crazy move, right? So, you know, pullback can be expected, but for how far? That's my thoughts there. Same with Oracle, obviously. Apple just got done with a big red day. Probably has some type of bounce back day. I don't know. We'll see. Boy, all these Dow names are strong. Banks are strong today. This is the area we got to get back through. Some previous all-time highs right here on QQQ. If I zoom over to where I drew this was the all-time high right there. And that's exactly where we're. So previous all-time high on QQQ from a few weeks ago is right here, 583.32-ish, 33. That's what we need to get back over. 4 minutes, that first hour. Reminder, that first hour, IB low formed first, high formed second. There's an 82% chance that you break this. Previous day high was taken on QQQ. Previous day high broken. What does that mean? Previous day's range report. If the previous day's high is broken, boy, we're just having a connection real fast. Previous day's range. Let me get to QQQ. So we already broke it on SPY, right? We broke it on QQQ. %86 chance we have a green day. Now that's just based on this down here. There's 86 chance that we close above this level. Right now, the first hour is here, which is going to give us like a 70% chance that we close under this. So this could be our box for the day right there. This probably needs to catch up on ES right here. Gosh, Tesla was one of my main watches on. Oh, I missed it. I don't know how many of you guys trade options or have been watching. Look at Tesla. Oh, Tesla. All right, let me catch back up with boy, I miss Tesla so bad. All right, let me catch back up with the chat here a little bit. I'm sitting in a little bit of a long. It is tough. What are my thoughts on Top Step back to funded? I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah, it's expensive. I was looking into it a little bit just because I was curious. People were talking about it, so it's like 700 something bucks. I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to go YOLO 3 accounts to try to get funded again at maybe $100 each or something, and then they're going to pay an activation fee. May take them 5 accounts to do it. I mean, yeah, I get it. Somebody, if you're willing to pay, I get it. We got 30 seconds till that IB forms. Boy, it would be beautiful if this could just get a push before that. But I don't think it is expensive. But the other caveat I found out when I was looking at it was if you've already taken a payout on the account, you can't go back to it. But I do know a lot of people that like, I face this a little bit too. When you do really well in like the eval accounts, and then you get to the funded account and you just like freak out. Like you get like the pressure, like you trade differently. The pressure kind of gets to you a little bit, and you make some mistakes, right? And you worked so hard, like maybe you worked hard, did things the right way to pass the eval. And a lot of people try to, just can I get 2 lucky trades in a row or something to pass an eval 2 days in a row? But I do know a lot of people that get to the funded account and they just like they freak out, or they're doing good for 2, 3, 4 days, they freak out and they blow a funded account. So is it expensive? Yes, absolutely. But does it give people kind of a little lifeline? Sure, why not? I get it. But the other side of that is that IB just formed. All right, so SPY yes should break this. There's your low, there's your high. Should take out the high, probably going to do that right away. QQQ, there's your low, there's your high. Now my targets are just going to be like right up here. Let me go to NQ. All right, so I can take a little ad here on my position. But my main target's going to be right at this 24,000. It's going to be my main target right there. Because this first hour right here, we should close below this, just statistically based. So I'm going to go up here to like 97. I trade M and Q, and that's where I'm going to take the bulk of my trims. Come on, NQ, get some legs for us. Catch back up here with the chat. Where's that pyramid? So this pyramid right here, I took this picture with my phone. Just took that picture with my phone. That is about 5 minutes away. El Cerrito. I'll pull it up here in just a second. I want to see if we can get this trade. We're up 20 points so far. Actually, my average went up a little bit because I was only like 62 and I added like 70. My average is actually right here. I'll pull up that pyramid in just a second. We'll talk about it. Come on. Let's get a nice little trade here. All right, 997, first trim. And then we should break the high. So I'm looking for this right here's the pivot point, 06. So I'll front run that. I'll just put it 05. ES did it. Here we go. Boy, getting long on this looked bad, but here we go. What's up, Frank? Uncle Frankie sliding in here. I'm just long until these highs, just for the record here. We just hit my trim. There's 30 points at first trim level I wanted. Give me 05 is where I'm front running that for the IB break. And that'll be right at almost 40 points for my average. And I'll be out at least 2/3, start trailing up a stop. There we go, guys. I mentioned 83% chance opportunity for this to happen, right? Hadn't happened yet, but we're right there. There it is. Come on. Squeeze it. Squeeze. Boom. 37-point trade. I'm out 2/3. And just because I have this level at 14, 15, I'm going to take my last trim there. And then we sit and wait. All right. All right, KB caught it with me. Boom, let's go. It is expensive, Cliff. Yes. You know what? Yeah, people just trade them differently, right? I trade better in funded than evals. I turned into that because I started taking the funded more serious. But at first, I would trade the evals better, and then I get to the funded, and I would like, if I could just get one big trade, you know, I'll make more money and stuff. And I'd just get reckless for a day or something. So then I slowed down. As some of you are probably going to ask, let me just bring up that report. And this is one of my favorite reports. And if somebody said they were new today, IB by rejection, right here. In that first hour, the low forms first. 60-minute IB, low forms first. So this is your initial balance. Sub-report by rejection, which means which side, okay? Here, let me see if there should be an illustration down here. All right, so here you go. Low form first, high form second. You should break. You should break the upside. That's what we just did. Let me real time here. This is the low of that first hour. See how this formed first? This is right here. Here's the high that formed second. That means we should break this way. I said 83% chance. What was it? Actually, on QQQ, 81. On NQ, it was 83. We rounded it, I remember. 82.86, 83% chance of that happening. Let me actually tweet this out real fast for everyone. A little screenshotty. Type this tweet out. I'll be right back to you guys real fast. Here, I can go ahead and I'll throw the chart back on here. So I want to get this last trim. I'll hear it go off. Let me type this out real fast though. Come on, there we go. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Come on, give me my trim. Finish that tweet in just a second because I don't want to miss this. There it is. Boom. 47 points. There's my last trim. Now we let the runners go to work. Boy, gotta love a solid 83% probability of something happening. How about that? How about that, guys? 83%. 47-point trade on the NASDAQ. Boom. So your stop at break even. You've locked in all the profit. Another great morning. My next level is going to be that previous high, 44. And I mean, if it wants to go beyond, I'll take a small trim here. I'm down to runner size, but I'll still lock in a little bit here, and then just wherever it wants to go. I don't care at this point, right? If the bulk of my position, I get 30 to 40 points on a trade. I won, right? I won the game. Now, if there's like an obvious, and to me, this isn't the situation to do this, but if there's an obvious, it's like if we come back and hold right here, or even it wicks down, if it holds this, and yeah, okay, maybe you add a little bit back and then come back up here and trim it back off again. I understand that. I do that in some situations. This isn't my favorite situation for that. Make sure I keep it right there. But like in this case, I won the trade. I don't need to take another one right now. And everything looks good. I mean, you can go back to QQQ over here. Same thing. Once again, here's your low. Here's your high. I know some of you see this gap fill. This gap fill, for us to come all the way down here and fill this gap was like a coin flip, right? That's a coin flip, 50-50 that it happened sometime today. But previous day high, broken. Some people just look at that and say you break previous day's range. You want to trade with it. I get that. You also have the data. I need to finish that tweet. Don't let me forget. Previous day's range right here. It's on NQ. Let's go to QQQ. So it's just the New York session. 86% chance of a green day when you break previous day's high. So early in the day, SPY 80% chance. This is the last 6 months of data, 80% chance of a green day when you take out previous day's high. So look at SPY. First thing this morning, the opening candle at the open of the market, we broke previous day high. To me, I look at that and I know there's 80% chance the moment this happens, there's an 80% chance that we close above that. This gap fill is where we closed yesterday, right? So this right here that I'm highlighting is where we closed yesterday. This is where we would go red on the day. So when this happens right here, I know no matter what, I want to look to buy dips somewhere. And if it doesn't work there, which I have the NFP stuff, but if we came down here, I still want to buy dips because we still should close back up here, no matter what. That's what that report's telling me. So I'm starting to piece together different reports, right? But in this case, previous day high broken. I mean, 80% of the time you're going to have a green day. So I just want to look this direction just as a general bias in a way. Just want to look that direction. Look, now we've taken out previous day high here. Do I want, if this breaks down, right, and comes back down here and starts like consolidating or like does something like this, do I want to try to short and look for like down here? Do I want to try to short and make this move? Well, probably not. If 83% of the time we're going to close above this, if price action told me to take a short like this, I'm definitely getting out right here. I'm not looking for anything down here. Why would I play for an 80, against an 83%, less than 20% of the time that happens? I don't want to play for that. I want to play for the 83%, which is this direction. What a nice trade there that worked out for us this morning. I'm not bragging on myself. It's Edgeful, right? It's using the data and the probability, stacking them up. Now I know a lot of people try Edgeful. I've done it for over a year now, so I've figured out how to kind of stack these probabilities together. But anybody can do it. Anybody can look at these probabilities and say, hey, let me stack. Okay, this one tells me 83%. This one tells me 74%. This one tells me 50-50. Like, we kind of aggregate those things together, and then I look at some price action. I look at what the market's been doing, the behavior of the market, and I see the S&P making all-time highs. And look at where I exited. I had this level, Fibonacci, that I use. It's been sitting up here for a little while. 0.15. Here, I need to finish that tweet. I'm going to turn off just to clean this up. Boom. Catch up with the chat in just a minute. I had to get that tweet out there. Now look, some of you guys will look at that and say maybe you want to short previous day high. If this holds right here, IB and previous day high right here, this holds right here. Do I want to try to short into potential support, previous day high, break and base? No. If it fails, rejects, I mean, you could try to trade it back here. Now, the first hour of the market was red. So right here, we closed right here, slightly red, but it was red. So there's probably there's a scenario that could happen where we go up here and we end up and we just finish the day right here again. That would not surprise me at all. Also, to Frank's point earlier, looking at some SPY puts, you can take some time on it. Once again, anytime you get extended from, like, this is an EMA 9, like one of the closer EMAs that you're going to use. Anytime you get extended from the EMA 9, you usually work your way back probably to here. I mean, right here, pretty extended, worked our way back down at least to this area. See? Not rocket science, but it's just some general market stuff. I mean, we go back here and look. Started to get kind of extended from the EMA 9. This was on a huge breakout. This was on big news as well, China news. And then what? Eventually we held back down to it. I mean, just basic market stuff here. Make your way back to it. Like, extended this. You see how far this is? Extended from The MA9, work your way back to it. So, just a little tidbit there. We're over previous all-time high. We're making current new all-time highs. We're above previous day's range. And we're above the IB. Not really a place I want to short. Do I want to push longs? Probably not either. But I probably don't want to short right now. You do have IB by retracement. I know some of you guys have watched that one with me before. IB by retracement. This is, so on the IB indicator right here, see these three lines? This is just measuring this distance. So here's your high, that 0 and that 0. There's your high and your low, the first hour, IB. This is the midpoint. This is 50%. This is 25%. This is 75%. The reason why those are there is because you'll see things react to that. And if I go back to the IB, here, there's the orb one. Let me turn the IB one on real fast. I'll pull that up. All right, IB by retracement. This is actually tracking. Have you retraced in these levels? It says no, 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 no. Of course not. We just broke out. But you do, when you break out, this is SPY. Let me go to, let's go to NQ here, since that's the main thing I focus on. When you break out on NQ, basically 70% of the time you come back to that, at least that 25% level at some point during the day. So at some point during the day on NQ, you're going to come back to this 880, or 980, which is a key level. So you broke out here, you come back to right here. I mean, and look, highs here, highs here, highs here. Look at this 880 area. So you know you have a 70% chance that you're going to come back to this. Okay? If it comes back to this and completes, then do you look for that trade? Most likely. And all you did right there was touch the MA9, by the way. If this comes down to 80 or 67, stops me out. Now, the other piece of this, look at this. 70% of the time you come back down to that 880 level I was just talking about. Only 30% of the time you make it back to the 50%. So this level right here only has a 50% less. I mean, 30% chance. So probability-wise, once you break this, coming back down here only happens 30% of the time, and then the odds go down and down and down. So since this has happened, like, yeah, we can. There is a chance that this happens, but it's a lower probability. So I don't want to trade this lower probability. And the things that I know for sure, as I turn back on some of this stuff, things I know for sure are we have a strong probability to close above here and a fairly strong probability to close below here. That's what I know for sure. There's a lot of selling going on in the tape here. That 915 exit, pretty solid so far. But look, just now touching an MA9 in an uptrend. Should we be concerned about anything yet? No, we should not. And look, here's that 880. This holds right here and gets bought up. We stay in the trade. If it doesn't, we walk away. Simple as that. All right, I need to catch up with chat, a few different things. Look, if you bought that 80 at 980, there's an easy 10 points. All right, let me catch up. Sorry, let me catch up with chat here real fast. Nice trade. Thanks, Robert. Nothing special that I'm doing here. Just stacking probabilities, right? That's all I care about. But I love. Oh, you caught it with me. Let's go, Robert. I love that. Gripped it and ripped it. Well done, dude. Grip it, and rip it. Look, some of you guys, Bob knows I'm from Arkansas. John Daly. Grip it, and rip it. Hey, that's an Arkansas legend, John Daly. I love it. Alexander, thank you. Appreciate you. Boom, boom, boom. KB, I see you. Thoughts on the 30-year? It looks like it wants to die here. By the way, 30-year bond auction could be a big one, right? 10-year dropped below 4 this morning, is what I saw. And then we got CPI data. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely, I'll be paying. Ooh, Google, some kind of news, which means more times than not it gets bought up. Let me throw up Google on here on the screen real fast. Look at this. Google just dropped hard and then it's wicking back up. If you follow along these Google headlines, this happens all the time, right? Look at that. Some type of Google news there. All right. But yeah, 30-year auction. Keep my eye on that. It'd be interesting. I'm not in the business of trying to read what auctions do. Yeah, we'll see what that 30-year does. I don't really have a strong opinion towards it. I'll watch it to see if there's a certain reaction to it or whatever. Maybe. I don't need to really guess what it's going to do, but if it makes an obvious pivot in the market, definitely keep my eye on that. Appreciate that, Frank. Appreciate you being here too, Frank. Faye, appreciate that. All of these lives. So I am on 2 YouTube channels right now, Edgeful and the Wolf Financial. I'm also on 2 X channels. The live streams stay there. They're all there. If you go to, whether you're on YouTube I see you're on YouTube, so I can't tell which channel you guys are watching on, but I do know if you're on YouTube or X, I can only see that. But if you are on the Wolf Financial one or the Edge one, either way, and you just go to the homepage of that YouTube channel, you go to the live column, and you can see all the lives that I've done on either one of those channels, and it should have my face on there. It's not really my face, obviously, it's just AI generated face or whatever, but you'll it looks close enough to what I look like, I guess. You see a beard, that's me. But yes, those are there, and yeah, you can watch this one back, and you have them back. I usually wait for a break above the IB high and then a pullback, but I feel like I missed so much of the move. Yeah. So I used to look for like a break and base a lot, and I noticed a lot of them would fail. And when I started looking at these stats a little bit deeper with Edgeful, I started noticing the same thing. I was like, wait, it's like I was like, I would rather, if I know it's going to break, I would rather play it to the break and trim out. And then if runners want to keep going, they can keep going. That's the way I like to approach it. And then the other side of that, as well as when I looked at that IB by retracement that I was telling you, this one right here, by retracement, and I saw these numbers. Look, this is on breakdown over here. This is on breakout. Basically 70% on either side. So it doesn't matter if you break the low, if you break this or you break this, you're coming back into it this far 70% of the time. It's pretty strong. Pretty strong. All right. Catch back up here. Yeah. Bob throwing in that time for us. It's 1 p.m. Eastern for that note auction, 12 Central, 11 Mountain Time, which I am Central Standard Time, not Daylight Time, so it's basically Mountain Time for me. If you're out there on the West Coast, you don't even count. I don't care. Just everyone use market time. If you're a trader, just use New York time. I guess it's 10 a.m. for our West Coast people. Shout out to the West Coast. You guys are fine. I just like to give people a hard time. Boom. Robert's signing up, getting started. Robert, when you get signed up, I know you get 7 days on that link that I dropped in here a little bit earlier. Give it a little bit more time. It's hard to process all the different things in 7 days. Figure out which reports I would say give it a month. If you don't like it after a month, totally understand. But I would say, just be fair to yourself, fair to the product or the tool, I guess. I don't even want to call it product. It's a tool, right? And boom, there you have. Look at this buy up right here. So that's what I'm saying. EMA 9, you weren't even touching an EMA 9. This is a 5-minute chart. You weren't even touching this blue EMA 9. You finally get back into it. Look what happens. Uptrend, strong trend. This one held 21. Candles never closed below the EMA 9. Look, we're right back over this 24,000. And what I say, that 880 area. We talked about it's one of those mornings where things are just lining up nicely, and I really don't care what happens the rest of the day. But right here, look at this exact level that I spent 20 minutes explaining this. 70% of the time you come back to this level. 30% of the time you come here. What does that tell me? Well, if you want a short, there's your scalp short counter trend trade. But you shouldn't hold to here. If this happens 70% of the time, take off 70% of your position or more. If you're looking to dip buy, basic price action, high. And look where the 5-minute candles are closing. Right here, and then look. What does this look like? Basic price action 101, possible SR flip. Obviously, you don't know that for sure, but that's what it looks like so far. Need some more confirmation. This goes up here, you definitely know it did. So there you go. There's a great rundown on that. And Robert, by the way, I know you just signed up there on Edgeful. Go in, so on Edgeful itself, over here on the right-hand side, right here, trading view indicator access. You get all these indicators. So every one of these indicators come with it. I know I say this a lot on the stream, but I love these indicators. You see them on my chart, on multiple versions of my chart. Look at all these that say Edgeful, invite only. You're only going to get them if you're signed up for Edgeful. You go right here, just type in your TradingView username. So whatever your username is on TradingView, just type that in right there. And then, of course, there is a Discord. So you can click on this right here. You can join the Discord. Other people that are using Edgeful, ask questions, share ideas. You can ask me questions. I'm always trying to help people. But there is a whole Discord community for free. You can go in there and chat about stuff, see what other people are doing. There's just so many reports on here that I don't even really use. I found the ones that I like and how I combine them together, and I'm good with that. I want to check the screener here real fast. Boy, is that bullish enough for you? Good Lord. 94%. That's using all 4 major future indices right there. 94% of the metrics for me. And if I use all the different stocks, pretty neutral. This is a tech-based list that I have here because I use the top 10. I just built this out myself, just added the tickers myself. I did a video on my personal YouTube about this when I did it. This is all the top 10 weighted stocks in the NASDAQ, and then I have SPY and QQQ down here. That's how I built mine out. You can do it however you want. And then on the futures, I just have the 4 major ones: YM, RTY, NQ, and ES. You see them right here? Boy. All right, sorry, let me catch up to the rest of this. Thoughts on a chance of 50 basis point cut? I don't think they're going to do 50 basis points. What is the actual? I want to see what I haven't looked this morning what the probabilities of move to. I do not think they're going to do 50 points. Yeah, look, it's still 89% chance that it's just 25. And then look, they're saying 25, 25, 25, basically 25 into January. So they're gonna probably cut 100 basis points over the next 4. But could this be an overreaction? I think you get 2 by the end of the year for sure. I think maybe it's an overreaction a little bit. I don't know. You guys know I host a lot of spaces on X with a lot of really smart macro people, a lot more in touch with it than I am, and opinions. But most of them are saying, like, to me, there's no real reason that they should just be going crazy. I just don't think we're going to get. If they do 50 basis points, I am afraid that the market will react like it did last year, and sell off for a little bit, because that seems like the Fed saying that they're late if they're having to cut 50 basis points after not cutting for all these months. So yeah, I don't know. And look at this. We're just comfortably sitting in these longs still. Could have added back. Like, that was one of those things where I said you could have added back. But everything, I mean, if you need a reason to be bullish today, it's good enough for me, right? 4 different metrics across 4 different tickers, or 4 different indices, I should say, are all bullish. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Oh yeah, I was going to show the pyramid. I'll get to that in just a second. Do I trade live every day in other channels? I trade live stream Tuesday and Thursday right here on YouTube and X, Tuesday and Thursday mornings for 2 hours. I'm in Discord all day every day, and I'm on Spaces pretty much all day every day as well. So I'm always live somewhere, but as far as live streams right now, it is mostly mostly Discord, just for all day every day. But boom, there you go, Robert. I appreciate it. You call me whatever you want. I get called a bunch of things. My name's Ryan. I get called Imp. I get called Emperador. emperor. I get called a lot of things. So my actual my name's Ryan. My X whatever personality, trading personality, whatever you want to call it, is Emperador Maximiliano. Imp Maximiliano is the at EMP Maximiliano. I get called Wolf all day long because I am the voice behind the Wolf Financial account 95% of the time. So I get called Wolf a lot. I answer to anything, whatever you want. All right, let me answer something over here real fast, guys. I'm just sitting in these longs for a second. Let me answer something right over here. And yeah, let me see what's going on here. It's kind of crazy we're doing all this without tech right now. I just gotta answer one little thing over here real quick. Almost there, guys. We're just chopping now. Are we gonna go into chop mode? Choppity chop. All right, somebody's asked me a question about Edgeful over here, and I'm trying to get the right screenshot sent over to him. Like I was saying, I showed you guys mostly visual over here, but when you have somebody that's, guys, I do try to answer as many DMs as I can. You know, obviously, I do get a lot sometimes, so it gets a little bit tough. But I try to get back to every single one. If I don't get back to you, just bump it, and send me another one. I should be able to get back to you at some point. You know, I try to answer everyone. Somebody that said they couldn't make the stream this morning, but they were asking a question here. And I have two different computers. So I have a laptop over here, and I have my Mac that you guys are watching me on. So I'm pulling the screenshots from X and putting them over here and typing a little explanation here real fast. And I'm not doing anything. It looks like we're kind of got a little candle action here, but yeah, Bob calls me Mr. E. Bob just wants to know. It's the secret of the pyramid. That's all Bob wants to know. All right, almost there. And let me hit send. I added like 5 screenshots. They all disappeared while ago, so it took me so long here. Gotta love that. All right, boom, done. Just in time to see new highs, huh? Let's go. How many points are we up over here? Am I using the algo? I am not using the algo personally. I'm trading manually using Edgeful. And honestly, half the strategies that I'm using to manually trade right now are all available in the algo. See, anybody's curious. The IB, orb, those strats, those statistics built into the algos, right? I've got to know Andre very well over the last basically year and a half at this point, and we share a lot of ideas. I've given a lot of input on some things I like, and then obviously what he's building has been incredible. The Edgeful tool for traders really helps us out, retail traders. I mean, just the probability stuff, and then the algo stuff. I mean, that was one thing that I discussed with him. I mean, and I basically said, hey, look, you figure out how to, like, it's one thing to get like alerts. If you figure out how I can be on, the tee box of hole 4 at the golf course, and an algo automatically takes a trade for me with a high probability, you figure that out, you're winning. Let me see. Here you go, Bob. This is El Cerrito. This is the pyramid that's right behind me. There's a picture that they light it up at night a lot of times. It's pretty cool. Either way, there's the pyramid. This picture, the picture behind me, so if you look, picture behind me is taken from the side, which is going to be right back over here. My brother-in-law lives like right here. Building like right here behind it is where I had to go register my dog's birth the other day, actually, believe it or not. So, boom, there you have it. It's literally like 5, 6, 7 minute drive. Boom, new highs. Let's go. 60 points down. Come on, keep it running. Santiago de Querétaro, Mexico. It's actually, so Santiago de Querétaro is the big city. And then we have like municipalities here instead of like counties or whatever. I actually live in Corregidora. And the closest town or city, like where that pyramid is El Pueblito. But it all runs together. You can't even tell when you leave Pueblito and go right back into Querétaro, the capital. From my house to like the downtown historic center is like 10 to 15 minutes. Depends on traffic. Appreciate that, Willie. Yeah, big day for me yesterday. Super proud. It just, I don't know how to describe that feeling. I don't know how, yeah. I don't know how to. Sorry, I was watching this to see if I want to take a trim here. I think I'm just going to let it ride. No, I needed a vehicle with third row, but I still wanted a compact SUV. I didn't want like a Tahoe or something big. Oh, we're going to get this final trim. Boom, there's my last trim. 75 points. And I'll leave the tiniest of tiny runners in case this wants to keep going. Previous day high reached. Boom. Cars are not cheaper here. One, I had to save a ton of money because I don't have any credit down here, obviously. So I had to save up a lot of money. And then just to not deal with, do I want to buy a used car? Do I trust, I can find trustworthy people. I know, obviously, family members and a couple friends I've made down here, but I don't really know the mechanics down here. I don't know how things work. First brand new car I've ever bought in my life, and I just feel really good about it. It was crazy. It's in kilometers, but I pulled into the house last night. I had 40 kilometers on the car. It was like 20 miles or something. Yeah, very excited. If you guys saw the video I put up there, my son's reaction absolutely you talk about like just swelled up my heart. That was one of the coolest things, one of the proudest moments of my entire life. So I posted that video last night, kind of a sentimental thing, but just absolutely super cool feeling. Trading made this possible for me. When I moved down here, I basically started from scratch, moved to a new country. All right, guys. I got 10 more minutes left on my stream. Words there. Got a link for my Discord channel. Yeah, so we have if you go to my X, in my header, there's a link tree, and you will see a link to basically anything that I do, and there's not much that I have linked on there. But our Discord is linked on there. I think there's a promotion. If you DM me on X, I can get you I'll get you a discount code to join if you want to check it out. It's me, Rizzo, and Minx. If any of you that follow us on Spaces and hear us live trading on Spaces a lot, the three of us are the main ones in there. So it's not just me. It's not my Discord. I don't own it, but I do work in there as an analyst and trade in there. So I'm not going to sit here and chill. I'm not going to tell you, hey, yeah, you could come join my Discord. And no, it's not my Discord, but it is where I trade and hang out. And obviously, I think it's valuable. I think it's great, but I'm not going to sit here and chill it. There's a bunch of great Discords and great services out there for you to learn and trade. There's a lot of free resources too, but obviously, every place has its advantages, disadvantages, whatever. So I'll leave it at that. My X handle is Maximiliano. I can actually throw that right here on the bottom of the screen. There it is, right there. Yeah, so you see it right there on the screen. EMP Maximiliano. Here, this is me right here, guys. That's me. So if you're looking for me, that's me right there. Shoot me a DM on here. I do try to check DMs as much as possible. Shoot me a DM. Like I said, if you need help with Edgeful stuff, if you have other questions or whatever, feel free to reach out. I try to answer. If I can't answer you within, if I don't answer you the same day, I try to answer the next day. And if I don't get you by then, just bump me. Because sometimes I get a bunch of them, and I get a bunch of group messages sometimes that push some people down. I miss it every once in a while. But I usually get back to those on the same day. So hit me up over there. I'll be keeping my eye out today, so should we get back to them a little bit quicker. All right, let me get that off screen. What's up? Good morning, Cade. What is up? This guy right here, Wolf Bitcoin, just doing big things. Great to see Cade hanging out in the chat. I think Cade's got a little degen trader in him, even though he's doing all these great things with the Bitcoin space. He's got a little trader in him for sure. Thanks for stopping by, Cade. Great to see you. RWA, oh man, Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so here's NQ. We moved down, we moved up. It was a very simple thing here. So here's a 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart looks a little bit different than the 5-minute chart. Kind of just looks like we just went, right? 5-minute chart was a little bit dicier, but here's the gist of it, right? This right here is your first hour of the market, your initial balance, IB as I call it. The low formed first, the high formed second. The music just made. Why does music keep doing that today? All right, whatever. We'll fix that in a second. Okay. Low formed first, high formed second. What does that mean? IB by rejection. Got too many reports on here. When the low forms first and the high forms second, the odds to do this are 83%. Let me load. There we go. So it's this report right here. IB by rejection is the name of it. You see this right here? This 83% is 82.86, 83%. Just round it, make it easy. When the 60-minute IB, when the low formed first, 83% of the time you broke the high. Right there. So because this low is before this high, it's 83% chance that you're going to do this. And then we also saw the previous day's high. This is, if I go over to QQQ, let me just go back to the 15-minute chart to make this a little bit easier. 15-minute chart, but either way, right here at the open, we broke previous day's high. It should populate any second. There it is right there. Boom. Previous day high was broken. So I knew I had a break of previous day high, which is bullish, means down here is where we would go red on the day. But we have like an 80+% chance of closing from here up. And then that first hour, the lows here, the highs here. So first, second should break this way. And sure enough, we did, right? I mean, you never get 10 out of 10. But in this case, we had basically 9 out of 10 bullish metrics. I mean, and that's what I was kind of showing on this piece a while ago when I looked at like the different things. It's basically like everything was bullish except for like one thing. I've got too much stuff open on my screen right now. Yeah, look at that, 94%. So like there's of the metrics I watch, so there's 4 different metrics in this with the major indices. So 4 major indices. So it's 16 total, right? 4 and 4. 4 metrics across 4 tickers. 94%, 15 out of 16 are bullish. So throw that in there. But yeah, the main thing, just to answer your question there real fast, the main piece was we had, and look, if I go here, so this pullback right here, this is where I started buying and getting long. And then once this happened and held, I added in a little bit right here. I looked over here for confluence. Look at ES. This is a 30-minute orb. ES broke out, back tested, held right here, made a push, and beautiful. The 5-minute was a little bit cleaner to watch this morning. But right here on, let me go to NQ. Right here on NQ, came down, we made this low. We came out, we took out this like opening high, and we made the high of the IB here. And then when we were coming back down here, I knew we were just about 10, 15 minutes away from getting that first hour. And I knew that this was, the case, right? So I started buying in right here. Took a little add right here. When I saw, so like this piece right here, so you see big down candle in an uptrend. And this candle set here, once this pushed up, and then I saw this wick, right? So I saw the next candle come down, wick up, and still close back up here. And then if you need confluence, 950 is kind of a psychological type of level. But boom, I saw that. I got added some more here, and boom, took a big trim here and here. Here, let me just show. So I took trims right here and right here into the break, and my last trim I took right here because I had this fib level right at 15. And then I went down to basically a quarter of a position. And then now we hit previous day high, so I'm in less than 10% of a position left on runners. That's where I'm at. KB's got the move here. Lock the account up. Lock up the account. Move on. Bookmap has big orders above and below us. Go figure, huh? What's up, Scott? Yes, so for sure in the algo, there's strategy tester down here. You can load a strategy, so in their algos, and you can back test it all. And then Edgeful itself has up to the last 5 years of data. So I use here. Let me go to a report here. Just go to the gap fill and QQQ. So I use the last 6 months of data because if something happened 2 to 3 years ago, the market's probably a little bit different behavior now than it was then. So I use the last 6 months of data. But if you ever want to compare, like, hey, what's going on this month or the last 3 months compared to the last 6 months, that's one thing. And then you can also say, okay, well, how's year to date look? What's 1 year, 2 year? You can go up to 5 years back. I pretty much hang out in the 6 month data range. And then if you're talking about back testing as far as so, I mean, all of this data is back tested data, right? It's okay, this is how many times that we break to the upside or downside. But the, sorry if you can hear a baby crying in the background right now, it's just going to happen. Okay. 3 weeks old, it's going to happen. Sorry about that. This data is all back tested data, right? All the data is back tested data. Now, if you're looking to back test the strategy though, the algos, which if you go up here to the algo portion, the algos themselves can be back tested. Move this over. We're going to make a new high day here. I mean, look, if we had to keep going today, I have an extension target on ES. So 96, I have a fib extension target there. And then obviously 6,600 is a psychological number. And then right here, boom, you have a, what's that, R3? So if we keep going, that's R3 up there. I don't have expectations for a whole lot higher. I mean, this is a long way to go to get to here. Another 100 points, over 100 points. I don't think we make it that far. If you're looking for further upside targets, I don't even know what you look for. In Q, so based on your IB, halfway extension should be 51. If you keep going, 98. If you need some targets, to me, this is full target reached. I'll probably actually close this position out here. So, yeah, and I'm at the end of my time for the stream either way. So, you have any last questions or anything? I don't know. I want to make sure RWA. I want to make sure I went through kind of the quick recap of what we were looking at this morning. I mean, I looked at the daily as well and said, hey, we're trading at previous all-time highs. You know, if we came back down even to where these 3 highs were here and back tested a little bit lower, I probably still would have tried to get long at some point today. And then this right here, this is what makes it tough now. So all-time high, big candle pushing up, pushing away from this EMA 90 down here. That to me, that's a like do you want to fade this? Probably not, unless you're like fading it with time or selling. Maybe you sell, like Frank was in here earlier. If anything, you maybe you sell some call credit spreads or something up here, or buy some puts that are like a week out and just see if you can get back to like this area. But I'd rather not do that personally right now. But I don't want to push longs into an extended market like this. If that makes sense. I mean, RSI is not bad, but even and we did have a pretty big consolidation here that we're breaking out of. But I don't really like to push longs into an overextended market. Just my thing. What city was I caught? That is not me. Adan or Adam. I'm sorry, I said Adan. That is not me. KC Trades was a comp. That is not me. I was never a comp. All right. Well, there's a screaming baby in the other room that I'm going to go check on real fast, and then probably going to. I don't know how much trading. I think KB may have the idea here. I don't know how much trading I want to do for the rest of the day. Double rejection right there, previous day high. We're in an uptrend. No reason to fight this, trying to short it. No reason to add. I'm not going to add to a position overextended up here. We'll see if we're able to come down here and hold, or if we go sideways until these EMAs catch up. Maybe. That's it. All right. Appreciate it, everyone. Hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday. Once again, I do this. You guys are very welcome. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Wolf Financial X, Wolf Financial YouTube, Edgeful X, X is in Twitter, right? And Edgeful YouTube. Tuesday and Thursday morning, 2 hours. I get it started right there around the opening bell, run 2 hours in, and then move on to some other things. Obviously, like I said, you can find me in other places. I'm on Spaces pretty much all day, every day. Andre, who's the CEO and founder of Edgeful, any of those of you that are on X and do listen to our Spaces, obviously you probably know he is on Wednesdays, and I like to chat with him on there. And then just a lot of great things going on. Don't push the gas if you're green. I mean, I probably will not take another trade today. I just don't see a good opportunity. Do I want to try to short into an uptrend at all-time highs? Not really. I really don't. Do I want to push longs into as we're making new all-time highs? Do I want to push longs now? No, I wanted to take it from here to here, and I did that. And I did it with conviction. I did it with high probabilities. Now I'm done for the day. All right, everyone. I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. Right here, same place, same time. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. If I don't see you until then, or have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. And like I said, if you can find me on X, Discord, anywhere else. I'm pretty much connected right here all day, every day, like 10 to 12 hours. So here I am. All right, everyone. Oh, last thing, tomorrow. Last thing, if you're still here. Tomorrow we are doing a live stream as a crew on the Wolf Trading. Pushing the wrong buttons here. On the Wolf Trading. Right here. If you go to Wolf Trading on YouTube, this right here, live trading. So our space that we typically do all day, every day with live trading. Tomorrow, we're doing a live stream. So me, Jordan, Evan's going to be there, Stock Market News, Maple Stacks, KC, Knots, Paper, maybe some others we're not going to do space tomorrow. We're all going to be live right here on YouTube. You can come set your notification. Make sure you subscribe to that Wolf Trading YouTube. And we're working on getting more live content to you guys. So I'll have this Edgeful stream, obviously, myself, but then as a crew, we're trying to get more live stream stuff too. We love the chat. We love all the examples. So make sure you go check that out. With that, I'm signing off. All right, guys.